From a celebration that almost got a player banned to hitting a savage move on rival opponents, these are the 30 craziest celebrations in football. And first up, it's Super Mario and his iconic goal move in 2011. When it comes to the headlines, Balotelli's always in it. Manchester City was facing Manchester United in the Manchester derby that year. Balotelli had already gotten a lot of negative press for the stuff he did off the field.
Tonight I will make you a nice video with fireworks. Now I'm just talking traffic.
From setting his bathroom on fire to driving into a women's prison just to see what it looked like. On the pitch though, Balotelli was still a beast, and I guess he was just tired of all the headlines around him, because right after scoring this one, he did this. Statement made. Free the guy. It won't be the first time Balotelli's hitting moves like this. Months later at the Euros, he hit another epic celebration again. He was on national duty for Italy this time, and it was still the same thing. See, Balotelli had noticed a problem with the national team. Anytime he played, he was one of their own, but anytime he had an off game, the press always tore into him early. Now it was time for him to make a statement of his own, against a team like Germany. The ball got played over the top, and once Balotelli was locked in, there was no stopping the bullet shot he sent through. After seeing it hit the back of the net, Balotelli hit the lone wolf. Ripped bandage stripes at the back, dude just dropped an all-timer. Taking off your shirt like that, it's gotta be epic. And no one did it better than the GOAT himself. 2017, Barcelona vs Real Madrid in El Clasico. And with seconds left to play, Barcelona was in a situation. See, they simply needed to win. They were chasing Madrid in the title race, and a draw wasn't going to help their cause. So they hit overdrive looking for the win, but with seconds left, this was gonna be the last attack. Sergi Roberto drove the ball into the Madrid half, passed it to Jordi Alba, and he hit that trademark cut back to Messi. And the rest was history. Came clutch in arguably the biggest game of the season. And that celebration after, in front of his biggest rivals? Crazy. Taking your jersey off in a game comes with a risk, but most guys are willing to take it. Funny how I said guys. I bet you didn't know back in the day that a female hit a predominantly male celebration by taking her jersey top off. The 1999 Women's World Cup final, the United States of America versus China, and it went to penalties. After a Chinese miss in front of the home crowd, the USA had the chance to win it. It all depended on Brandy Christian making sure she slammed her kick into the back of the net. And she made no mistake from the spot. But you see guys, it wasn't just the kick that made her famous, it was what she did after. Because her celebration had millions of people around the world talking for years. She took her top off and stunned the world. Did it like a man and made it look cool too. I used to think this was the craziest celebration in women's football history, until I met Loé Labonta and her iconic twerk move. So here's the thing, Labonta was playing for Kansas City in 2016 when they faced Angel City at home, and with 78 minutes gone they were losing 1-0 to Angel City. They got the chance to draw level from the spot when the team won a penalty. Labonta stepped up to take it and boom, hit it into the back of the net. But after that, she gave the fans heartache and a stunning celebration all in the space of 5 seconds. Faked an injury to have the fans worried and hit moves like that. Damn, looking back at it, dancing has been a part of the game for years. I'm even talking as far back as the 90s, when Roger Milla hit the tunes at the biggest showpiece event in the world. The 1990 World Cup. Roger Milla was all set to make history. At 38 years old, he was one of the oldest players in the team, but he was leading the line for a Cameroon team that made it to the round of 16 in the World Cup. No African team had ever made it beyond that stage. But Milla was old enough to know if he enjoyed it as much as he wanted to, he just might have a chance of getting something out of this one. And seconds later, he scored past Rene Higuita in Colombia's goal, and hit the moves in the sun. Hips don't lie. At 38, he could still swing it. Milla's corner flag dance looked pretty cool, but Carlos Tevez' chicken dance? I still don't get it. Back in the day, Tevez was just starting his career at Boca Juniors, but the rivalry between both Boca Juniors and River Plate had been going on for decades already. It was so bad that the River Plate fans called the Boca Juniors players and fans chickens. I guess Tevez was just trying to prove a point. because after scoring against them in 2001, you'd probably have guessed it by now, he celebrated like this. Hit the chicken dance, and got sent off right after. The dance pissed off the ref. Quick one, Carlos, if you're gonna dance, do it like my man Shabalala in 2010. Shabalala was part of a South African team ready to make the continent round. For the first time in history, the World Cup was being played on African soil, and Shabalala started for South Africa in the opening game versus Mexico. Like a page straight off a fairy tale book, Shabalala scored the opening goal of the World Cup, a rocket straight into the top right corner. But that was just half his story. The other one was hitting a dance move with his teammates, which turned into a global sensation. Can't even lie, I did this one so many times after watching it. Safe to say, Shabalala's dance was pretty cool. Michael Antonio though, I think I need to have a word with the guy. Antonio was playing for West Ham in September 2016 when they faced Watford at home, and after he scored a brace in the game, he did the worm to celebrate. Man, I don't know what this was, but what I do know is that it looked completely crazy and random at the same time. Funny as well. There's no backstory to this, Antonio just loves busting random dance moves. Different from my man Samuel Eto'o though. When Eto'o hit a dance move, it was to mock his coach. In 2013, Eto'o was on the books of Chelsea when they had a game against Spurs coming up. Midweek before the game, Eto'o's manager Jose Mourinho came out in his press conference and dropped a huge shade on him. He called him old in front of the entire world. I don't know how their relationship works, but I'm pretty sure this one would have hurt Eto'o to a degree. Yet though, he maintained his cool all through and decided he'd let his feet do the talking, and days later dropped the savage response on Mourinho back. The old man still got it. Eto'o's old man dance became so crazy it even made it to FIFA. Just like Wayne Rooney's TKO from 2015. Rooney was having an amazing game against Tottenham Hotspurs. He just scored a crazy goal, and instead of hitting a trademark knee slide or fist bump like he always does, Rooney hit a celebration that had everyone talking. See, Rooney and a former United teammate, Phil Bardsley, were playing boxing at home, and the video kinda made the rounds and had Rooney in the spotlight. So after scoring this one, he did it to let them know he had the moves to hit a KO off the field too. Rooney's a boxing fan, and his KO was to make reference to that. But the time Tim Cahill used his hands to form a celebratory, there was no joke about it, because he was playing tribute to an inmate. In 2008, Tim Cahill decided that was going to use the match against Portsmouth coming up to make a statement. See, Cahill's brother Sean had bagged a 6-year sentence for attacking a man in a nightclub, and having not seen his brother for that long, I guess Cahill must have been missing his bro. So after scoring against Portsmouth, instead of hitting his trademark corner flag punch celebration, Cahill did this. The handcuffs were a tribute to his imprisoned brother Sean. Unfortunately though, some fans didn't see it like that and they thought Cahill was trying to promote gang violence in the city. So they came at him, and he had to apologize and never did it again. I don't know man, it's like there's something with Merseysiders and off celebrations. First, Tim Cahill made a tribute to his brother in prison, and 9 years back, Robbie Fowler did a celebration about banned substances. With a couple of games left to play in the 1998-1999 season, Robbie Fowler and Liverpool had it all to play for. Fowler's Liverpool team was on a terrible run of 1 win in 7 games across all competitions. But for Fowler himself, it was personal. Some fans, mainly from Everton, had started a false accusation of Fowler taking banned substances to boost his performance in games. Fowler himself knew he never did it, but the accusations got to him, and he knew the best way to make them pay wasn't just scoring against them, but rubbing it in. So after he got the goal to get the home crowd at Anfield buzzing, at the away end, he had them very pissed too. Crazy revenge. Unfortunately though, the FA didn't see it like that. They viewed Fowler's celebration as way above their PG laws, banned him for 4 games and fined him 35k. That's how much revenge costs. The Premier League has seen some crazy celebrations over the years, man. From Fowler's super expensive banned move to Harry Kane's perfect water bottle celebration. Back when he was still in the Premier League with Spurs, Kane was a goal machine. In the 22-23 season, he was part of the Spurs team that went to the Amex to face Brighton and Hove Albion. And Spurs desperately needed to win to keep any chances of European football alive. Kane understood the assignment too. Dude wasted no time in getting on the score sheet, and when it came to celebrations, Kane got his regular trademark fist bump in the air, but this time he left that and caught an object in the air and hit an all-timer for the camera. The angles on that water bottle kick made it look really cool. Yo, FIFA, mind getting this one into the game too? It's awesome. I know a guy who did one better though. Jamie Vardy showed the world during lockdown he had a thing for corner flags. Leicester City versus Sheffield United in the league, and that season Vardy was on red-hot form. He was scoring goals for fun and drinking cans of Red Bull at the same time. A proper shithouse. And in the game against Sheffield United, Vardy was at it again. He's had beef with the Blade fans ever since, and after scoring against them, he ran to the corner flag and did this. Kicked it off. Either Vardy didn't like these guys that much, or he just hated the fact that some of them hadn't subscribed to Mr. Football yet. Vardy taking out that corner flag was epic, but the celebration was just him alone. Over to the MLS now, and Kei Kamara dropped a goal move for the ages. 2015, Kei Kamara was playing for the Columbus Crew in the MLS, and over there he was hitting his groove steady every week. Kamara had just scored and decided to hit a celebration for the ages. Amazing! Kamara hitting that construction workers celebration almost as cold as Ronaldo hit the Commanders move to troll the head of the biggest organization in the game. Ronaldo versus Sepp Blatter, FIFA's ex-president. In 2013, Sepp Blatter was talking about Ronaldo in an exclusive interview, and when he got asked to compare between Ronaldo and his rival Messi, he said this. Called Ronaldo a commander, and obviously meant it in a bad way. Ronaldo saw it too. It was obvious it got to him, and in his next game, Ronaldo hit out a celebration to let Blatter know it was a direct clap back at him. Celebrated like a proper commander. Still on the cold, crazy celebrations, Thierry Henry dropped an all-time banger in the North London derby back in 2002. Looking back on it now, it just made a whole load of sense. Henry at the O2 in 2002, and in one of the most heated games of the season, the North London derby, Henry delivered a goal for the ages. He went on a solo run, took on more than 3 players, and after slamming it into the back of the net, Henry hit the cleanest knee slide I've ever seen. You can't beat that at all. The celebration set a standard, man, and even had guys like Aubameyang trying it out years later. Henry's celebration was crazy cool. Bafétimbi Gomis's celebration though, crazy scary. The guy's like a cult hero, from rocking up in the Premier League with Swansea City to playing for the likes of Olympique Lyon and Saint Etienne. Bafétimbi Gomis has been around in the game for long. In his Swansea days, Gomis had a distinct celebration. Every time he scored, he hit a lion move, looking for prey to pick on. But I guess this one time he may have gone too far, because he ended up scaring the crap out of this ball boy. Looks scary enough, can't blame the kid for freaking out. Celebrations are meant to impress, not scare. Eric Cantona got the memo early enough, and when he scored a solo stunner in the league, he celebrated like a king. Cantona was playing for Manchester United in 1996 when they took on Sunderland, and coming into the match, Cantona had a lot riding on it. See, he'd been accused of dropping his form early on, and some fans thought he needed a good game to get back on their books. On his part, Cantona wanted them to enjoy the match and have a good game. Knew he needed to do something to get them on their feet, and that's when my man hit the king move. Collar up, hands in the air, Cantona was royalty, and that celebration signaled it. Even the Sunderland players knew. Some of their fans applauded the goal right after. On his part too, Cantona wasn't trying to troll anybody with this one. He just wanted the fans to have fun. When Theo Walcott hit his goal celebration though, it was to poke his rival fans in the face. Back in 2014, Walcott was playing for Arsenal in the North London derby versus Spurs. And games between these two are always usually very heated. See, Walcott was having a good game, but he'd picked up an injury, and the doctors ruled there was no way he could continue. So the medics brought the stretcher on to take him off. Problem was, they'd have to pass the Spurs supporters' end to get to the touchline. And these guys were ready to tear into Walcott and call him names. And he knew that too. It's almost as if he'd already prepared for a situation like this, because as soon as he passed the Spurs' end, Walcott went savage. Talk about rubbing it in. Even with his injury, he still dunked on the Spurs fans. I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans would know what it feels like to have a rival player celebrate in their faces. 5 years earlier, it was one of their own doing the damage against them, Emmanuel Adebayor. In 2009, Adebayor was in the middle of a transfer saga. Manchester City dropped a bid for him, and at first he wasn't thinking about it. But seeing the way Arsenal fans reacted to the move, Adebayor was pissed. They called him names and lashed out at him. So in return, he accepted the offer from City and switched teams to join the Sky Blues. And on his first meeting back against his former club, Adebayor cooked a celebration specially to celebrate against them. Ran all the way to the entire side of the field just to celebrate against them. Ouch. Talk about taunting. I bet it's from Adebayor Neymar got the inspo for his taunt celebration too. Just like Adebayor back then in 2018, Neymar was the victim of a fan attack from some Nîmes fans. They'd been targeting him so much that they even had a banner specially prepared to taunt him during the game, and put it in a position that Neymar couldn't avoid it. Still, my boy Neymar didn't let it affect his game. He was balling out, and so after he scored against Nîmes and put PSG in the clear, Neymar went straight to that banner and showed them who the real crybaby was. Savage. Neymar had zero chills when hitting this one. Ligue 1 has seen some crazy celebrations over the years, from Neymar's crybaby comeback to Super Mario's iconic selfie celebration. 2018 now, and Balotelli was playing for Olympique Lyon in the French Ligue 1 versus Saint-Etienne. 12 minutes into the game, Balotelli was wasting no time in putting his Marseille team in front. But he wasn't done. See, it's very hard to predict what goes on in Balotelli's head. No one knows what he's thinking about. And apparently he was trying to pull the 2.0 off a goal move. Put this one on his IG after the game and had crazy reactions. See guys, now I did say Balotelli was trying to pull the 2.0 off a goal move, and that's because he wasn't the first person to come up with this crazy idea for a goal celebration. The OG of this one, Roma's eternal king, Francesco Totti. In 2016, Totti was playing for Roma in the Rome derby versus Lazio, and the game was as usual very heated. Totti had been playing for Roma for over 25 years now. He'd seen a lot of derbies like this over the years and knew how games like this one could end. Totti was also advancing with the times too, and coming into this game he had a special celebration planned for it. All he had to do was score, and as soon as he found the back of the net, Totti hit a goal celebration no one had ever seen before. A selfie as a goal celebration in the Rome derby. What the heck? The balls on this guy, man. Can't lie, it looked insane though. But now guys, it's into the top 5. And at number 5, Jimmy Bullard hit an all-timer in the Premier League. Bullard and Hull City took on Manchester City in 2008, and by half-time they were 4-0 down at home. Hull's manager Phil Brown was so pissed that he gave the team a crazy talk at half-time. The game ended 5-1. But apparently the players hadn't forgotten about Brown's epic talk during the break, because when they faced Man City 1 year later and Bullard got on the score sheet, he did this. Recreated his manager's epic team talk. Safe to say he owes this one to his manager, and there's just something about coaches getting in on celebrations with players that always makes it crazy. Like the time Jurgen Klopp lost it in the Merseyside derby. The 2018 edition, and coming into the final seconds of the game, the scores were still deadlocked at 0-0. See, Liverpool had done everything they could to win the game, but the Everton defence somehow managed to hold firm. And as Virgil van Dijk scuffed his shot high into the sky, it looked like the game was gone. Even Van Dijk turned away after his missed kick, but if there's one thing Klopp has taught his team over the years, it's to never give up. And Origi must have remembered that, because he chased the ball down to Pickford's area in the Everton goal. It somehow dropped back in. Origi scored to give Liverpool the win in the last minute, and Klopp lost it. Ran into the field to meet his goalie Alisson and celebrate. Insane. The emotions must have been high that evening, just as it was for Yannick Carrasco in 2016 after scoring in the biggest game of his club career. The Champions League final. Carrasco was playing for Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid, and after Madrid took the lead, Atleti was on the back foot for most of the game, until Carrasco leveled up and hit another gear. He was determined to turn this one around for his team, started getting on the end of crosses, and pretty soon one paid off. The goal was good enough, but watch Carrasco after. He scored and went to kiss his partner straight up. No offense dude, but I've never seen it go the right way in any sports, ever. Still, can't blame the guy, he was probably too emotional and needed the moment to celebrate with his partner. But when Messi let his emotions get to him, he didn't need anyone. He wanted to celebrate alone and get revenge on a certain Dutchman. The 2022 World Cup, Messi was repping Argentina when they took on the Netherlands in the quarterfinals. For Messi, this one was more than simply just winning. Van Gaal had called him out days earlier, and now he was out to get him in the best way possible, beating his team and scoring goals on the pitch. And as soon as he put Argentina 2-0 up, Messi showed Van Gaal who's boss. Cold, but not cold enough to take the top spot. Because number one is a celebration so crazy, it almost got Ronaldo banned from the Champions League. In 2018-19, Ronaldo was with his new club Juventus when they took on Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. And after losing the first leg 2-0, Ronaldo knew they couldn't afford to slip up. They simply had to perform in the second leg, and it even became more personal for Ronaldo after Simeone dropped a savage celebration on him days back. Game on. This time in Turin now, and with the home crowd behind him, there's no way Ronaldo was gonna slouch. Soon as that whistle hit, he was in beast mode, and pretty soon he made Atleti and Simeone pay. Boom. The celebration was worth the revenge. But then again, it almost cost Ronaldo. See, UEFA got involved, and they termed Ronaldo's celebration as being too much, and almost banned him from playing in the quarterfinals as a result. Ronaldo's a lucky man. Seems like he always has been so lucky that he even cheated death a couple of years back. Just like Ronaldo, there's a list of footballers who are lucky to be alive.